Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 59 of Modern Day Messengers. I was a little tired this morning, but you know what? I got my W energy. Chugged it down. We got our Black Rifle coffee. Feeling good. I want to point out a couple of things here. We got the anniversary of the Navy, 250 years. And I will say I love this bag.
That bag is pretty gangster.
Black Rifle Coffee artwork is just it's just awesome.
Oh, yeah, they're way over the top.
But if you want to come down to Black Rifle Coffee, I know the one in Ruston, it comes with a challenge coin. It's very nice. And then a 250-year-old anniversary, 250-year-old bag of coffee.
No, it's not that old. But, yeah, it's just celebrating the 250th birthday of the Navy. They have their challenge coin. It's pretty awesome. You may be wondering why we have a pink cup. Like, that's not really our...
What's on your side?
Yeah, well, it's 2025.
That's right.
No, but in all seriousness, this is the Black Rifle grenade cup that comes, or mug that comes in pink.
Yep.
And what is cool about this, which, I would probably get this for my wife or something. I wouldn't use it. But every one that they sell of these cups, 50% of it goes to national breast cancer support.
That's right.
Helps women who are dealing with breast cancer, surgeries, chemos, radiation, that kind of thing.
That's
Goes
right.
back into pouring into the women.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, cool.
come down, as much as I'm not a pink kind of guy, I mean, I can support that cause. I would buy one.
yeah.
I would buy one for my wife, even if she didn't use it, just to pour back into the Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation.
Yeah, so shout out to Black Rifle Coffee. Shout out to W Energy, sponsor. By the way, you can use the code NEWLIFE. Was it all caps?
Yep, all caps, no space. NEWLIFE to get a 10% off of your total order at checkout.
All right. So let's get into it, man. How's it been going? It's been a couple of weeks.
It's been a busy couple of weeks, man. Just life.
Yeah.
Life's been happening. Life be lifing sometimes.
Yeah, life is lifing. Well, any Devinisms that you've learned in the last couple of weeks?
Well, you should learn to always silence cell phones when you do a podcast.
Yeah.
Learned that one today, just now, when your phone went off.
That's a good one to go by.
That's a good one. So, I had this teacher in high school. His name was Chris Baker. He was our science teacher. Awesome guy. He would come up at the end of the week, every week at school, and he'd come up with these don't do things for the weekend. And each week he would add an extra layer. Like week one, we'd have one thing that we don't need to do on the weekend.
Okay.
Week two, he'd have two things, including what was on week one, and then he added something to week two. And he did that all throughout the year. Well, I'll give y'all one that he used to tell us. He said, make sure when you go bungee jumping, you do not go bungee jumping with a cord that is longer than your fall.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
So there's your Devinism that I stole from Chris Baker.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah. Listen to that advice.
I would.
Yeah. Bungee jumping with a cord longer than your fall is not advisable.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to put it.
Doctors don't recommend that.
Yeah, I agree.
And if I can remember anymore, I'll tell you later. But he had so many of them, man.
Yeah, it's crazy how information just passed along. Over the last like week or so, I've had some pretty deep conversations about like theological things with my friends, like down to the meaning of life or the existence of life and reality and some deep philosophical truths.
Can you spell that?
Philosophical truths. Google it. So, I mean, we've talked about a lot of these things before, but just a couple of things about how just the existence and time, space, matter, creationism versus like, basically primordial soup evolution stuff.
Yeah.
Talked about macro and micro evolution and stuff like that. And but needless to say, I'm mean, I was on the phone yesterday with one of my old drummers. Well, he's not my old drummer. He still drums for me, but he's been on tour, and he's been. We spent an hour on the phone yesterday just catching up on some life things and things he's learned about on the road, about being a musician and touring and stuff, and how important it is to like stay grounded in something.
Yeah.
Because he's saying, when you're in front of 10,000 people, you get a massive adrenaline dump on stage, and like I don't think I've ever played in front of that many people yet, but it's but I've had those like stage adrenaline dumps, and like you can kind of lose touch with reality, and like that's why you have that rock star status
I
mentality.
say it's kind of hard to deal with your pride at that point. I
Yes,
feel like.
yeah, and he said that like at the beginning it was, but he said that he had to, like he got super depressed, and then was like, okay, what am I doing? Like, what is life? And
Yeah.
he started to question things, and the dude's 22 years old, but I mean, talk about, but he found God, and like, and the only thing that keeps him sane on the road and out of trouble, is he said I had to find my center,
Yeah.
and he said the only way to do that is God, and so he can go do these things and not be a part of this stuff like that's happening, the alcoholism, the drugs, the women, the girls. He comes home and he's faithful to his woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we just talked about those things, and I've been studying ancient manuscripts lately.
Have you?
Yeah.
Where have you been studying that at?
The YouTube University, and then also some site sources. I've been listening to a lot of Wesley Huff lately.
Wesley Huff is incredible.
He's a Canadian theologian, and he's also inspired me. I haven't told you this yet, but he's inspired me to look into going back to school to actually go get a theology degree. There's an online class that comes from California, but it's basically a seminary class.
It's California, though.
I know.
Does anything good come from California?
I don't know. I have no idea.
If you're watching this, then from California. You're probably a good thing that comes from California.
That's probably right.
You're probably the only one, though. Just picking.
Just picking.
Kind of.
Yeah, I'm just being serious. But anyway, there's a 4-year degree in theology, but it's kind of sparked an interest in like talking about not just like the history of the Bible and all of those original manuscripts, but would really, I think me and you also share this interest in like the language, like between Greek and Hebrew. So I'm thinking about going for theology, and then maybe get some linguist stuff. Get into Hebrew and Greek, and then also, just to study the world history as far as, because if you ever get a chance to listen to Wesley Huff, he's not just like well versed in biblical things. He is a Christian man. He believes in God. He believes in Jesus. He believes the Bible. I'll quote him. He said he's more than happy with just 66 books of the Bible. He said that's more than enough for me. And but he has studied Hinduism, Universalism, all these other things. This Jehovah's Witnesses stuff, all these things, and he studied them to the nth degree.
Yeah.
And it's a good listen.
If you go to YouTube, you can type in I think it's Apologetic Canada.
Yeah.
That's one of the he's got he's got his own YouTube, but that's he's part of Apologetic Canada. I think he's like a CEO or something of it now.
Yeah, he's got a website too, huh?
But he's got a series where he's going back into the Egypt and looking into some things like that. And he made a quote on I can't remember what the series is called. It's like, is the Bible true, or can I trust the Bible? You good?
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, he's got like a series. I think it's called "Can I Trust the Bible?" But he brings it up. He said that somebody asked him, if all you are studying is the Bible, how do you know it's true?
That's right.
And he's like, you know what? That's an honest question.
It is.
So he started looking at all these outside sources and everything, and started even the Gospel of Mary and the Gospel of Thomas. And, and all this, and he's like, well, we could tell why the Gospel of Mary and the Gospel of Thomas are not canon Bible things. They're not written. Honestly, they were wrote way after time when they would have actually have been written.
Yeah.
And through all the studying that he did, he could determine that these books of the Bible, or what we have in our 66 books of the Bible, are actually accurate and historically factual.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He also, and yeah, I mean, it just a lot of people question like, they're like, how many times has it been rewritten or recreated or anything like that?
It's been rewritten quite a few,
Yeah,
but
quite a few times, yes.
but
It's been
it's
spelling errors.
it's such
yeah.
a strict adherence to how
Yeah.
the manuscript is protected and
Yeah.
transferred over.
Yeah, and also I wanted to point this point out. I wanted to point out. He said that as far as like how the things that don't match in it, as far as spelling things, but there was a guy at I think it was Oxford University,
Yeah,
and he was a Greek like linguist, and he said that John loves Jesus or whatever. He's like, how many times can you say the exact same thing in Greek? And it was over 1,000.
Yeah.
Just that one thing. Now, it never took away, as far as people who study these things, it never took away the meaning of it
Yeah.
or the idea or the context. So he's saying that the Greek language is so like intricate because they also had to put like certain things at the beginning or somewhere in here to say, hey, don't read this as words, read it as numbers. Or read it as something. It had to specify because you could read it, you could interpret it, not, I would say different ways, but not a different meaning.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's good to listen to, and it just kind of sparked an interest.
Oh yeah, me and Kristen love listening to him. Kind of speaking on him, man. Like, there's been a lot of things that's been going on in the world. Like, obviously, the past few months have been kind of dark.
Yeah, sure.
With the Irina girl getting stabbed on the bus, the Charlie Kirk incident, the school shooting. Like, we've had some dark things. But, man, there's been revival happening. Like, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of things have been going on lately that are drawing people closer to God, especially this younger generation. And just kind of back up and, like, we're talking about Wesley Huff. We go and talk about where he kind of got his name out there when he went on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he had a debate with.
Yeah. I actually watched that one 2 times.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours long.
Actually, I think it's like 3.
It's long.
Yeah.
I know it's long, but I watched it twice. I watched it once, and then I watched it while I was working the other day with my buddy. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was probably the most viewed apologetic gospel preaching, teaching, however you want to say it. Like, more people saw and discovered the gospel through that interview with Joe Rogan than any other thing on any kind of media platform.
Yeah.
Go back further than that, the Asbury revival that happened at that college campus.
That's right.
You've got more. What's the latest generation? Is it Gen Z?
Gen Z, yeah.
Gen Z. There's reports that more Gen Z males are flocking back to church than ever before.
Yeah.
And Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, he gets assassinated. He was going around to college campuses and preaching the gospel.
Yeah.
And he was making an impact. But and I hate to bring it up. We already talked about it, but since his assassination, so many more people are digging into the Bible.
Right.
There's been interviews where kids are like, I say kids, but college kids.
Younger
like,
than us, yeah.
I would have never picked up a Bible until this happened, and, it made me kind of question things, and they start reading the Bible.
Yeah.
So I think through his death, he's having more of an impact than he was when he was alive, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then Vody Bacham, God rest his soul. I mean, he's somebody I followed for a long time.
Yeah, a long time. I watched a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, his book Fault Lines is the first thing I come across when his stuff. Now, I mean, it was just a powerful book, and now people because of that, like hey man, like I'm looking at Vody Bacham stories or sermons, and very theologically sound pastor and just incredible pastor.
Yeah, and I want to point out this: we talk about intellectual honesty and dishonesty. And you talked about like, hey, don't believe it because we say it, or don't believe the Bible. How do you know the Bible's true? You got to look into it.
Yeah.
Look into everything, and it sparked the critical thinking of America. I wouldn't say with everybody, because I do see a side where it's like they're super closed-minded.
Oh yeah.
They're down talking Charlie and all this other stuff, and trying to say, what this man was evil and racist and stuff, and it's just not true. And when you Google stuff, it's like you can't, like, I don't know if y'all have noticed that if you Google things, like this AI overview pops up and
Yeah.
stuff, and you can't always trust that because I've looked up some information which I know a lot about some things, and it wasn't like,
But G. Holland.
yeah, it wasn't G Holland, man. It wasn't doing it right, and it just didn't give a great definition.
Yeah.
Anyway, but speaking of, you mentioned the arena girl, the murderer. I don't remember his
I
name.
think it was it Christopher Robbins? Something like that?
The
You know what? His name ain't even important. He's
Anyway,
trash anyway.
well, he got arrested, or he's indicted.
Yeah, he actually got indicted.
Indicted.
So now they are looking for the death penalty, which they originally said they were going to do. But indict, that doesn't mean, like, I don't want to give nobody a false sense of hope. That
Right.
doesn't mean that, like, he's about to be killed tomorrow.
Right. It could be 20 years.
Yes, I mean, there's still a process that has to go on. And,
Right.
and y'all know my feelings on this. In this case where we have all the evidence in the world,
Yep.
why aren't we waiting 20 years when people are going to be removed from the consequences?
It even has a verse in the Bible about how things should be dealt swiftly about these things, these matters, and because if things are prolonged too much, and this I don't. This is my opinion. Could be a popular, maybe unpopular opinion, but I think when things are prolonged, it's just it becomes less like.
It diminishes the
Yeah.
effect of the punishment that should be there.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's just crazy.
It's dumb.
But I know you had a couple of other articles pulled up.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about it. There was this guy. Let's see what his name was. I had it memorized, and I forgot now that we're recording. Robert Fisher. He's 34 years old. He was sentenced to 20 years to life behind bars for the rape and murder of a 3-year-old child. And he pled guilty to it
Right.
on July 9th, 2024. Let's see. He was about a month into his sentence,
Yeah.
and the CO's corrections officer found him dead in a cell.
Yeah.
And the speculation that I have read is his charge. Everything's publicly known nowadays.
Right.
He got found out by the other inmates, and they killed him.
That's right.
Man, it's a 3-year-old child.
Right.
Like, I have a hard time not trying to celebrate this.
I know.
I really do.
Yeah.
My fleshly person wants to celebrate this.
Well, these types of things make me want to puke because it's like, dude, I have a 3-year-old son,
Yeah.
and it's just like, dude, how can a human being do that, And it's just pure evil at that point, and I just think it needs to be I think it needs to be justified, as far as like it needs to be rid of,
Yeah.
because that's just pure evil, and I don't care who you are or what your belief system is. If you don't see that wrong, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, and I'm not over here advocating for murder.
Right.
I'm not. But on that same token, man, you rape, and actually the 3-year-old died
Right.
as a result of the rape.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
like, could you imagine this?
Yeah. Look,
I mean, at 3 years old, these kids are aware. You have a 3-year-old.
I have he's very conscious.
So you would know that, like, just from having a 3-year-old, and if
Exactly.
you're watching this and have a kid that age, that kid would know what's going on. Like, they may
Yeah.
not have all the vernacular to explain what's going
But
on.
they know that they're being,
and violated in a very painful way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very horrible. I mean, it's
So-
yeah,
Like, and you've heard me say this before. I think if you harm children in this kind of way, or whatever, or murder, or rape, or whatever, I think you should be executed publicly.
yeah.
So, am I upset that this happened? No. I mean,
yeah, right.
now I do hope. I truly do hope this. I hope he gave his life to the Lord before he passed. But that doesn't excuse his crimes.
No.
Like, there still needs to be a punishment.
Yeah.
Should people have taken it into their own hand? That's something they have to answer to God for.
Yeah, that's right. It's
But do
yeah.
I blame them? No.
No, I mean, to be honest, man, I like, me and you are very similar, and some of our views are very similar as far as our mindset. But like our family, we are out to protect them. And I'm just saying, like, if any harm should come to my family family in like my eyesight, it I mean I'm about it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
for sure. I mean, and that's why we carry.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and man, I saw a video that went around. I don't know, maybe a year ago or something. It was this video person that was interviewing people. Was like, "Hey, would you kill somebody for your child?" And all these women are like, "No, no, I wouldn't do that." Are you kidding me?
Yeah, seriously.
I would murder you slowly.
Yeah, if you hurt my child.
Yes, if you try to inflict pain or death or violation upon my children.
Yeah. So think about that at a godly standpoint. So you have God the Father, and you have Satan, and he's trying to harm us because it hurts. It hurts the Father to harm his loved ones, right? Think about all of the amount of infinite godly wrath that is going to come to the end of age. I was thinking about that just now. I'm like that evil and that sin, like it's going to be dealt with. So, but anyway, was there another one?
Yep,
One more.
Coco Melon.
Coco Melon, yeah.
The greatest kids show that all the kids like to sing the songs to.
You know, I've seen it, but we've never watched it or nothing. So I know like it was like very, very stimulatory to kids and stuff. And
Very
like,
popular. And
very popular, yeah.
so, like, when Chloe watched it, when it
Right.
first came out, like, it was, when it started off, it was like these kids' songs. It's like, a ring around the posy, all that. And they do like these nursery rhymes. And
Right.
these kids do these skits or whatever, dances, whatever,
Right.
to the show. And it was, basically when I needed a little break, turn it on. And, and this is a shame on me. This is a stab at me for, turning something on and walking away.
Sure.
And not paying attention to what my daughter was watching.
Yeah.
So, like, parents, don't be asleep behind the wheel like I was on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could tell you where I screwed up, and now I screwed up on that. But, now they have it, one of these latest episodes, there's this little kid who's in a dress, and he's dancing in front of his two dads,
Yeah.
his two gay dads.
Yeah.
And they're telling him, do what you feel like,
Yeah.
express yourself how you feel like.
Look,
you are.
man. And this is a little boy in a tutu dress. Now, look, if you're an adult and you can make your own conscious decisions about your sexuality or whatever, you do you, boo. But once you
It is wrong.
It is
You do
wrong.
you.
Yeah, it's not that I agree with it or anything, but look, you're gonna have a free choice, and I ain't your daddy. I can't make your decisions for you. But do not push that on innocent children.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's all about sexuality.
It's sick. Why are we
Yes.
pushing sexuality on kids?
That's what I'm saying.
At that age,
yeah.
I was playing with Hot Wheels in the dirt and probably eating the dirt.
Yeah, playing with sticks, man.
Yeah.
Swords and everything.
Finding a stick that looked like a gun.
Yeah. Yeah, they claim like we want it to be neutral and everybody, but it's like, no, it's not neutral and it's not.
That's bull scubalon.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is wrong to push any kind of like adult things onto children.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. I mean, this is geared towards toddlers and whatever, and it's for any show, man. Like it's just wrong to push any kind of sexual thing, and that's what it is. I mean, come on now. Like they can't say that it's all inclusive and all this other crap, It's like, look, man, like you're pushing sex on kids and you're teaching them that it's okay to love on a man if you're a man, and it's like these kids they're not ready for any kind of decision making like that at 4 years old. You know?
I'm from a camp that may not be popular opinion, but if you're pushing sexuality on a kid, are you a pedophile?
Right.
Like I truly believe if you're sitting here worried about pushing this, like if your focus is pushing this depravity on a child,
Yeah.
like you may be a pedophile.
Right.
Fight me if you don't agree. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't really care because here's the thing: it's all these in these parents that I have seen. As a parent, you are in charge of guiding your child to make good decisions. Some don't care if they make good or bad decisions, okay, but they try to push this agenda of like you can be whatever you want to be, but they try to really push the gay thing on them or the homosexuality thing on them, and it's like, okay. You literally just said that you can be anything you want to, but you're pushing them towards an agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, so that just doesn't work.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody has had kids go through the age and like a little boy will pretend to be a princess every once in a while. It's like not like there's no sexuality behind it. It's just him being dumb.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a girl who wants to be a mechanic,
a firefighter, or
a
something.
firefighter.
Whatever. Okay, cool.
It's just a kid
Being a kid.
phase. Like,
That's right.
when you see that, it's like, oh, no, that must mean you're the opposite gender.
Right.
Like, let's affirm this. Let's dress you in makeup and dresses and do that. Man, shut up.
Yeah. It's
You
not
are
that.
you are a sorry parent.
So, I'll give you an example. So, I know this is going to be a longer episode, but I don't care.
We hadn't even got to our Bible
I
study.
know. We need to read the Bible, but I just want to say, like, okay, so my son, he loves, like, Disney princesses. Okay, like he was really excited. We went to Disney World. He liked to see Elsa and all this other stuff. But not that but that's the thing. It's like, he doesn't ask for, like, to dress up as them or whatever. And, you know, but it's like, it's cool to like princesses. I mean,
I don't know, man.
look, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, it's,
I hate Disney.
yeah, I mean, there's some things about Disney I don't really, like,
I hate Disney.
chive with. Why, man?
Man, it's
We had a good time last trip, though. We had a good vacation.
Kristen, so I had never been to Disney.
Yeah.
Kristen grew up. That was her family vacation. They always went to Disney.
That was me.
So
yeah.
we got married. She drugged me to Disney for our honeymoon. And then, when did we go again? We went one other time. I can't remember. It was just me, Kristen, her sister, and her sister's boyfriend. And that was, gosh, it was miserable. And then we went again when it was my son's 7th birthday.
Yeah.
And I told Kristen, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done with this crap.
I'd rather go on the mountain.
I want to see something else in the world besides Disney.
Yeah.
And then, Disney's had a lot of controversy behind them with their not so gay agenda.
Right.
Like pushing it on there. There's a movie on Disney where a chick gets knocked up by the devil and is having.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's like,
I know, that is weird.
why?
Yeah. I don't.
So like I'm very much
Yeah.
not a Disney fan.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. That is like, it goes along with the same thing as Cocomelon and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they need to, like, not. That's just wrong. You just shouldn't do it. But anyway, that's enough ranting.
Yeah. They just have a not so secret gay agenda. I mean.
Yeah.
And
Hey, but you know what? I will say this. You know, a lot of people say, like, well, this will be our last talking topic before we go to our Bible study. But they say, like, you can't put any kind of belief system in politics and all this other stuff. And it's like, my thought behind that is, why?
If there's nothing with a morality, which morality comes from God,
Right.
then the only thing that will be in our legal system are atheist policies.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to be ran by atheists.
Right.
Which, I mean, we probably are right now, but
Right. But that's what I'm saying. But it's like, if your leaders are under, like, the pretense of evil, then that's what the outcome is going to be. And so I don't want that.
no.
So you can't, like, you have to have some type of belief system in your choice making or your business making.
Yeah.
And it's like, because at the simplest form of it, it's good and evil. It's making right decisions or making wrong decisions. And, like, I don't know, man. It's just they try to say, keep it out of politics, but you really can't.
No.
You really can't.
Well, so everything started off, and you started this.
I know. I'm sorry.
This is your fault.
I know.
So the things that are biblical or theological or however you want to categorize it, like, let's just take abortion, for example. This is a theological thing. This is
That's right.
murder of image bearers of God. Homosexuality, transgender. Like, these are things that are biblical issues, not political issues. But politics has moved so much into the world of theological issues and the Bible.
Yeah.
And these weak-kneed Christians have surrendered ground to the God of politics.
Yeah.
And now politics is talking into topics that Christians should be talking into.
Yeah. I had this thought.
And that's bullcrap. Like,
It is.
Stop being weak-kneed Christians and grow a set of nuts and stand on something and stop surrendering ground. Yes, I said grow a pair of nuts.
Yeah, my tablet keeps locking up, so I just got to keep making sure it's recording. But no, you're right, man. And it's this thought came to me this morning on the way here, and it's just, I think a lot of people who have the truth they don't speak it as far as like publicly. So if these people out here, or whoever is out here and they're speaking not good things, why aren't you publicly speaking good things? And then why are we so afraid to invite the conversation to speak against it? Because and I've been guilty of this before. It's like, okay, they said something or whatever. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut because I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that mentality right there is why we're here.
Why we're in the poop storm.
That's
that
right.
We're in.
Because nobody wants to talk about the deep things of life and like the meaning of it or like the truth in it, and if there is a God or there's not the God. They just rather not talk about it.
Well, yeah,
You know?
and there's a lot of contributing factors to it, but in my opinion, one of the big ones is wussified pastors too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of pastors nowadays are more concerned with filling their seats than filling their congregation.
True.
Their congregation need to be equipped with the truth.
Yeah.
Like the truth of Jesus Christ and what flows out of that. Like good works is not causes my salvation, but
that's right.
Good works and correct theology should be a result of my salvation.
Yeah, and I would love to actually commend our pastor this past Sunday. One of our pastors, Pastor Ryan, actually teached a really good message, and he actually up there and he's like, I'm not trying to yell at y'all this morning because he was getting he was getting a little heated, man. But it was actually good. He was talking about, he's like, I don't care how much knowledge you know about the Bible or anything. He's like, you can have all the knowledge in the world. He said, but if you ain't applying it, he's like, then it's a fart in the wind. It's like, what do you know what I'm saying? And it was, it's very true, and it was kind of eye opening because like I really try to study, doctrine and everything like that, but I need to make sure that I'm putting it into practice as well. Not just knowing it, because knowing it is just, what did he say? I actually wrote it down, but I don't have it with me. But he said it's like basically knowing it without action is, it's just nothing. You're useless, basically.
We had Chris Plan on the podcast. He said something kind of relating to that. He said, you're sitting here studying all this theology and you're getting fat. You're eating all this good stuff, and you're just getting spiritually fat, but you never gave your neighbor anything to eat.
That's right.
What good does it do?
Yeah, what good does it do?
You're sitting here, consumer mindset, when we ought to be in the mindset of passing on what we have to somebody else.
That's right.
Knowledge isn't knowledge to be stored and be selfish for ourselves, but it should be to equip other believers.
That's right. Exactly. So
we have been on our rant for 34 minutes.
I know.
We need to get to the Bible.
I know. Let's get to it, man. But if you haven't noticed that one of our members here at the Modern Day Messenger podcast is not here because he decided to get married like 19 years ago or something.
I think it was 16.
16 years ago.
Yeah, he's on his anniversary.
He's on his anniversary.
I told him to tell her to get over it, be here. But
well, happy anniversary, Chris.
Happy anniversary, Chris and Melinda.
Yep.
See, when I said her name one time on the podcast, she thought I said Melissa. No, I did not. It is Melinda. I know your name.
Okay.
So, happy anniversary, Chris and Melinda. We pray many more happy years for y'all.
Yep.
All right.
So let's get to it, man. We're in Acts chapter 15, and we're getting into should be Paul and Barnabas, talking about the Jewish versus Gentile believers, and basically we're talking about uncircumcision and the importance of it.
Well, and then the Jewish mindset was like, this is what makes you holy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get into that.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it.
All right. Well,
You want to start the reading?
Nope. You will.
I will. All right. Let's see right here.
That's what happens when you're late for the.
I know.
For the show.
I was a little late. I dropped this mic a little bit. Okay. All right. Acts chapter 15. And certain men came down from Judea and taught the brethren, unless you are circumcised according to the custom of Moses, you cannot be saved. I do see the Galatians 2 reference here. We were talking about that. Therefore, when Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension and dispute with them, they determined that Paul and Barnabas and certain others of them should go up to Jerusalem, and the apostles and the elders about this question. So they sent, the church decided to send Paul and Barnabas to them to have a discussion about this. So being sent on their way, way by the church, they passed through Phoenicia and Samaria, describing the conversation of the Gentiles, and they caused great joy to all the brethren. And when they had come to Jerusalem, they were received by the church and the apostles and the elders, and reported things that God had done with them. But some of the sect of the Pharisees who believed rose up, saying, "It is necessary to circumcise them and to command them to keep the law of Moses." Okay? You want to keep going, or you have a...
I mean, we can talk about that a little,
Okay,
just a
yeah,
little
let's
bit.
talk
I mean,
about
there's, without getting too much into it, because it'll go more into it as we read.
Yeah.
But I mean, they had this debate in the church.
Yeah.
Is circumcision a path of salvation? And we've talked about that before. That's gospel plus. It's like Jesus plus something else gives you salvation.
Right.
But we know Jesus plus anything is nothing.
Right.
It's Jesus equals everything.
That's right.
Jesus is everything. So they had this debate because this is the gospel being poured out to Jews and Gentiles. So they're trying to force this circumcision belief
Yep.
on these Gentile believers, and there was the debate on should we do this or should we not. So like they took it to the elders take it to the council, and they discussed this. I almost knocked your coffee.
Yeah.
I moved my hand too much. And I think that's good, man. I think that's a good way. Like, there's any kind of congregation, you're going to have some kind of theological differences, some debates.
Sure.
And that's what your elder board is for. That's what your the leaders that you have put in place, God has put in place. Like that's what you use that for.
Yeah.
I mean, along with other things, but like that's what they're there for.
Right.
Like, and I like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, there's some bad
well, they said, right
theology
here,
in there, but
yeah, it says, according to the custom of Moses, you cannot be saved unless you were circumcised. And they were trying to keep this, but they sent Paul and Barnabas to go discuss it with them, which is what you should do. But
and they like you said, that was the law of Moses, man. Like that was the sign of the covenant with God.
right, but Jesus Christ had come and died for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we pick up here in verse 6. So the apostles and the elders came together to consider this matter. And when there had been much dispute, Peter rose up and said to them, "Men and brethren, you know that a good while ago God chose among us that by mouth the Gentiles should hear the word of the gospel and believe. So God, who knows the heart, acknowledged them by giving them the Holy Spirit just as he did to us, and made no distinction between us and them, purifying their hearts by faith. Now therefore, why do you test God by putting the yoke on your neck of the disciples, which neither our fathers nor we were able to bear?" I like how he pointed that out. That's a very good thing. "But we believe through the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ that we shall be saved in the same manner as they." That's a really good point right there. Because he just basically testified, and we've been through Acts. I mean, we're on chapter 15, right? But he gave him a whole history lesson of everything, in the past and everything about. But he says right here that like nobody can bear this. Like it's just we're imperfect humans. Everybody has sinned, So what do we do?
So it's actually interesting that is mentioned, or that Peter says this here, because if you flip over to Galatians chapter 2,
Yeah.
and now in your Bible, Galatians comes after Acts, but chronologically this event happens before
it.
Acts 15.
Yeah.
But just want to read a little bit of this from Galatians 2, starting in verse 11. And this is Paul talking. He said, "Now, when Peter had come to Antioch, I withstood him to his face, because he was to be blamed. Before a certain man came from James, he would eat with the Gentiles. But when they came, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing those who were of the circumcision." And go back and read that a lot. But basically the mindset of this is, and if you read before and after that section, Peter kind of cowered down when it came to this council that we're talking about circumcision. Like, hey, circumcision's a thing. Like, we need to make this a thing. Like, if you're coming in from a Gentile belief, you need to do this.
Yep.
And Peter kind of cowered down to the crowd. So Paul being that good friend he is,
That's right.
opposed Peter to his face and called him out on this. And so we see here in Acts 15, Peter corrected that.
Yep.
Like, and that's what it's about, man. Like, Peter could have been in his feelings and pride, said, "Oh man, you don't know this. I'm Peter. I walked with Jesus.
That's right.
Whatever." But man, he had someone he gave permission to, in a sense, to offend him.
Yep.
Paul called Peter out on his hypocrisy. Peter's like, you know what? You're right.
Yep.
Right here, he's corrected that.
That's right.
So I mean, that's obviously a lesson to us all, man. Like, you got people in your inner circle. You should have people that you give permission to offend you, and when they call you out on something, don't be a turd about it. Like, look at yourself and say, are they calling me out in this because they love me and because they're looking out for the gospel of Jesus Christ, which is more important than my feelings, or are they wrong?
Yep.
And when you find out that you're wrong, it's like, hey, let's correct this. I want to be on the path of God. I don't want to be on the path of my own understanding.
That's
I want
right.
to be on the path of understanding God.
That's right. And so we see their response here. It says, Then all the multitude kept silent and listened to Barnabas and Paul, declaring how many miracles and wonders God had worked through them among the Gentiles. And after that they had become silent. James answered, saying, Men and brethren, listen to me. Simon has declared how God at the first visited the Gentiles to take out of them a people for his name. And with this the words of the prophets agree, just as it is written. After this I will return, and I will rebuild the tabernacle of David, which has fallen down. I will rebuild its ruins, and I will set it up, so that the rest of mankind may seek the Lord, even all the Gentiles who are called by my name, says the Lord who does all these things. This is in Amos 9.
That's Amos 9? Mm-hmm. It also comes from Isaiah 11.
Wow. Which was like roughly about 800 years before Christ, right? So this is just coming into fruition. Known to God from its eternity are all his works. Therefore, I judge that we should not trouble those from among the Gentiles who are turning to God, but that we write to them to abstain from things polluted by idols, from sexual immorality, from the things strangled, from blood. For Moses has had throughout many generations those who preach him in every city, being read in the synagogues of every Sabbath.
All right. Did you want to talk about this, or did you have anything on this?
Not particularly, but do you?
Yeah, a little bit. What was it? Verse 19, Therefore I judge that we should not trouble those among the Gentiles who are turning to God. So this kind of goes into that sanctification process. Like, these Gentiles are never been in a relationship with God. They're coming to them, and they're trying to impose all these rules on them.
Right.
It's like, hey, here's your Jesus, here's Gospel Plus,
Yeah.
here's all these rules, and if you don't follow them, you're not going to be
Saved.
That's
right.
So he's saying, let's not impose all these on them.
That's a great point.
We should write them to abstain from things. Like, there's still some things that they do need to observe. Like, don't be involved in things polluted by idols.
Yeah.
Abstain from sexual immorality, because, in the Gentile world, there's not really a sexual immorality.
That's
it's
right.
like, do what you want to that pleases you,
Right.
especially in a pagan culture.
It's not about that anymore, yeah.
Yeah, like, and then things being strangled from blood. And I didn't really understand what that one was at first. And I did some looking up on some commentary, and one of the things I saw, they said that it was things about eating things that still had blood in them, and blood was a source of life, and it was like you were eating their life.
That's right, yeah.
And I didn't know that until I read through this, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's right. But you're absolutely right. I guess we'll just continue in 22 right here. So, because it says, Then it pleased the apostles and elders with the whole church to send chosen men by their own company to Antioch with Paul and Barnabas, namely Judas, who was also named Barsabbas, and Silas. Is that how you say that?
Barsabbas? I think so.
Okay. Leading men among the brethren. They wrote this letter by them, the apostles, the elders, and the brethren, to the brethren who are of the Gentiles in Antioch, Syria, and Cilicia.
Alicia?
Greetings. Since we have heard that some who went out from us have troubled you with words, unsettling your souls, saying you must be circumcised and keep the law, to whom we gave no such commandment. It seemed good to us, being assembled with one accord, to send chosen men to you, with our beloved Barnabas and Paul, men who have risked their lives in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. We have therefore sent Judas and Silas, who will also report the same things by word of mouth. For it seemed good to the Holy Spirit and to us to lay upon you no greater burden than these necessary things, that you abstain from these things offered to idols, from blood, from things strangled, and from sexual immorality. If you keep yourselves from these, you will do well. Farewell. Now, I want to point out something.
Go ahead.
He didn't say abstain from these things and you will be saved.
Dude, that's exactly where I was going in my mind.
Okay? He said you will do well. Okay? There's a difference. So what he's saying is, like, if you abstain from these things, like, that's what's going to keep you saved. Has nothing to do with that. He clearly says that it's Jesus Christ, believing in him. It'll be a byproduct, but you really should. You shouldn't live in sin, right? It's just like Paul says in Romans a lot. He's like, should I sin more that grace may abound more?
Certainly not.
Certainly not. I mean, it's just, I had a conversation with one of my friends the other day about that. He made a comment about, like, religion. He's like, well, that's just religion. He's like, you just say you're sorry and everything's good. And I was like, well, I said, Paul actually has a letter on this. And I said, you can go look up the manuscripts and the historical evidence of all of this. I said, but Paul clearly states that just because you say you're sorry doesn't mean that you should just sin more and then you can just keep saying sorry.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's a lifestyle change. So if you do repent, which means turn away a 180 degree, then you should notice a difference in your life. And that's what he's saying right here. You should abstain from these things, and you will do well. So,
yep, that's exactly where I had on that. I mean,
yeah,
like, so I'm glad we were thinking in the same.
we were. I know. I was like, I saw your reaction. I was like, yeah, he was going to say that.
Nope, all good.
Anyway, but we could either. Do you want me to read the next section?
You've read a lot. I'll take some.
Okay, please.
But I don't read as well as you, so y'all may want to.
I'm breathing hard up here.
You might want to times 2 through my reading. If you're watching this on Spotify.
Yeah.
All right. Verse 30. So when they were sent off, they came to Antioch, and when they had gathered, when they had gathered the multitude together, they delivered the letter. And when they read it, they rejoiced over its encouragement. Now Judas and Silas themselves, being prophets also, exhorted and strengthened with the brethren in many words. And after they had stayed there for a time, they were sent back with greetings from the brethren to the apostles. However, it seemed good to Silas to remain there. Paul and Barnabas also remained in Antioch, teaching and preaching the word of the Lord, with many others also. Pause there. And I saw a commentary on this.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny. So they get this letter back that's saying, hey, circumcision is not necessary, right?
Yeah.
And they're rejoicing.
Yeah.
So the commentary I saw on this is like, we can look at it theologically, like, hey, they're rejoicing because they get to be in the club and they don't get to be burdened with all this. Or they're rejoicing because they don't have to get their penises cut.
That's right.
That's true. I'd be rejoicing too.
Yeah, I know. I'd be like, yo, all right, cool. We're good.
Yeah.
But it does talk about the circumcision of the heart rather than the physical body elements, so, which is true. It circumcises the sin off of you. Anyway, then after some days, Paul said to Barnabas, let us now go back and visit our brethren in every city where we have preached the word of the Lord and see how they're doing. They just want to check up on their boys, Now Barnabas was determined to take with them John called Mark, but Paul insisted that they should not take with them the one who had departed from in Pamphylia and had not gone with them to work. Then the contention became so sharp that they parted from one another, and Barnabas took Mark and sailed to Cyprus. But Paul chose Silas and departed, being commended by the brethren to the grace of God. And then he went to Syria and Cilicia, strengthened in the churches. So, we see point A, they're having some discrepancy. Paul and Barnabas go testify on the truth. And, what do you think about all this contention?
I don't know. I've always been curious
I have been
on
too.
what caused Paul and Mark not to G-haul no more. But I don't think it. Honestly, I don't know what it is, but they still continued the mission. It wasn't like,
It,
hey, we hate each other, and that
yeah,
must mean you're not a Christian.
we'll never talk again. Just we were going separate directions.
And I believe in Second Timothy or Titus, maybe that actually I want to say it's Second Timothy that Paul writes and he talks about Mark and he's like, hey, he's a good brother in the faith. I
That's
could be
right.
wrong on that, but
Yeah.
I think it's in Second Timothy. So I mean, he still had a lot of respect for Mark's ministry. So I've always been curious on
Right.
what was this contention where they had to separate here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We could probably do some really deep diving and maybe find something, but needless to say, it's not. The point of it is that they still had the same mission, and I don't think they disagreed on a salvific point of view.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's maybe where they wanted to go, or where maybe God was just calling them in two different directions, as far as where they needed to be at the time. So it could be something like that.
Yeah, and I do like the fact that they're going back and addressing the churches that they've already established and just strengthening the brothers, because like that's kind of speaks to me, kind of like the Easter Sunday services at most churches. Like you got people who never come to church; they'll come on Easter and Christmas and all that. They
We have the same phone. I'm
Yeah.
trying to look up some Greek word.
yeah, but they raise their hand at the end of service. They give their life to God, and they never come. Never come
Right.
back. And a lot of churches celebrate that number. Oh, we had 437 people raise their hand. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
right.
what are we doing to follow up on that? Like that's great. I'm proud that they have surrendered their life to the lordship of Jesus Christ, but they need to be discipled.
Yeah.
And I like how this kind of speaks to that. Like they went back and checked on their brother. They strengthened their brother and just making sure that their sanctification process is still going and strengthening that.
I agree with you.
Of course you do. I'm right.
What? Uh, I'm looking up just some Greek words right here just to.
I barely know English words. Why you gonna bring up Greek?
I just wanted to look up the. They say like a sharp disagreement, and I just wanted to see if there's any kind of anything right here. Porox o usmas. It is a incitement or irritation. It doesn't really say.
Yeah, we just don't. I don't think the Bible reveals.
Yeah, it really doesn't. It doesn't really. Anyway, I just wanted to say is like, but it says an irritation, so not really. They're just irritable with each other.
It could be one of those things where, like, if you hang out with somebody too long, you just start kind of getting annoyed by everything they do.
Yeah.
I've been around people like that. Like,
Yeah.
we're cool in short bursts, but, like, the longer we're around each other, it's like, dude.
It's like, bro, you chew too loud, man. Like, I cannot hang around this. Like, I don't know what it was, but yeah, I was just trying to do a little deep dive and real quick. But anyway, I don't know. Let us know in the comments if you know a little bit more than us. So, because that's definitely possible.
The next chapter, chapter 16.
Yes.
When Timothy joins.
Oh, Timothy. He's a little older now. A little more. He's not on the spiritual.
I think this is.
Or this is when when he gets called out. I don't know. We've gone through Acts 3 times.
Yeah,
so.
I'm starting to run together. But anyway,
That's right.
well, Timothy will join them in their missionary journey
Sweet.
on the next episode.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching Modern Day Messengers. Like I said, happy anniversary to Chris and Melinda. He'll try to be with us on the next one, maybe.
Check out the website.
And and the website. It is it's currently undergoing investigation because it's down right now. But we're gonna check into that. But the Men of Courage, Lincoln.org.
Yep, menofcouragelincoln.org.
Yep.
Got some stuff on. It talks about what we do, what the mission is. There's also a section on there for you to donate and help the ministry.
Yep.
And if you decide to do that, Men of Courage is a 501c3. I think that's the right.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, and which means you get a tax break on any donations. It helps us do things like this podcast, prison ministry, get Bibles to people, and just do community outreach.
Or even just the domain on the website. Like 100% of donations, 100% of donations goes to the ministry.
Yep.
we all, our entire team, our board members, we all volunteer to make this thing come together.
Yep.
But yeah, everything goes to just the program, basically.
Yeah. No, trying to raise money for outreach things like we do a man church or men's conference or however you want to word it. Try to do that every year, and
Yep.
it's things like that help fund that. So
That's right. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
y'all have a blessed day.